Hello everyone. This is Maria with mariascraftingcorner.com. Are you guys hearing me? I unfortunately had my AirPod and I didn't realize I had my AirPod. Can you guys hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me, guys. Okay, I can see Suze. Hi, Suze, and Adrian, and Ida, and Kiwi. Hello, everyone. Please let me know if you can hear me. While we wait, hi Louise too. I hope you guys are doing phenomenally. Okay, good. You can hear me. I'm sorry, I had my AirPod and that's why I'm late. I had a call from my daughter and there were some issues and we were just chatting and trying to problem solve, how it goes. And yeah, that delayed me a little bit. Okay, I'm going to say several things before we get started. Guys, I did not sleep well yesterday, and that always means that by this time of the day, my brain is a little mushy, I have to say. So, if I say something really dumb, just let me know. Hey everyone, how are you, Matthew? Um, Everyone, just let me know here in the chat that I'm not making sense. So that's the first thing. I do have water here to see if it maybe getting water it will refresh my brain. Maybe I don't know, but we'll see. Hi Kim. Now, all that said, down below you can see my email, mariascraftycorner.com. If you need anything, I can support you from Stampin' Up, measurements, other cards, other inspiration. Just let me know. There, same as it has been, guys. There's 105,000 things going on at Stampin' Up. Just today they dropped new kits, and I have them here. I think there you go. There's 3 kits actually. There is like a paper bouquet, which is very beautiful, and 2 card kits that seem much simpler to me, but the bouquet is so beautiful. I am thinking about that one. I can't wait. But also, just as important, we are heading towards the last chance sale. There it is. Maybe there it is. And there are tons of things in at the discounted price that are really worth it. So I would say, guys, check it out. I saw a couple of things. My cart is getting bigger and bigger. I was actually telling Suze that I had offered for Lent not to buy unnecessary things, right? So I guess food and whatever. There's a few things logically that are needs that are going to allow myself to get, but not any nothing that was unnecessary. And I guess what Stampin' Up falls into that category. So I have to wait till Lent ends to get anything. And guess what? My cart is just growing and growing because of course I have a few card stocks that I want to get before their price increase. Hopefully I get to that. I don't know. I found out that my early espresso, which is one of the older ones I have, has like the pad is not really working well. I'll show you here. Let's move to the crafting table, guys, so I can show you. There we go. See, like it's kind of like falling apart. Again, this is probably like one of the oldest I have. I don't know why that's happening, but it is happening. And so I have to figure out, I have to buy one of those. And so because of that, I went around and checked which of my pads are kind of like struggling and figuring out I need to add those. And of course, stuff from the new catalog. So all in all, there's a few things in there, but my daughter just gave me some news, and it may be that I'll have to wait to get any Stampin' Up goodies. Like my dear Ida would say, we have to pay those things called rent and food and whatever. So, I'll see how I reorganize my budget to help her, and then we'll see how that affects the Stampin' Up buying. Okay, all in all, I am very excited. I wanted to show you. Let me see if I have the actual. Yeah. So this is the card I'm going to be making today, guys. It was a request by Ida, so I'm really, really happy that you're here, Ida. Hi, Nicole. Good morning to you too. And so let's see. That is the one, and it's hard to see, but this is the lady that I watched the video from. So actually, let me see if I can get this. Actually, what Ida sent me was this one. And oh my goodness, guys, I don't know if you can tell, it's really small, but it is so super cute. Can you guys see this one? I hope you guys can. Um, it's using those dinosaurs, which by the way I wanted to get, but I did not. But it's just a really beautiful card. This card is 6 by 6. So let's go back here to the crafting table and we can kind of chat about that. Okay. So I was telling Ida, I was making fun of it because a lot of the cards that I know I've told you this, a lot of the cards that I like get requested or people, you know, want to see more of, or even I find myself in Pinterest and so forth, are either in inches, right, which is fine, or they are in German or in French or in Dutch. I don't even know. And so at this point in time, I am starting to think that I am going to learn. I'll have to learn a few other languages to keep doing this job. Because guys, I don't know, like it's always something else. I was able to figure out this card. This card is really easy. To make. It does not have any complication. It took me a little bit, the complication, not the complication, it took me a tiny bit with it. Maybe, and not maybe, but partially because I like just finding out the mechanism, but after that it's really simple. So let me start with what we're going to be using today. We're going to be doing an Easter card in very, very soft colors. We're going to be using petal pink and basic beige, and that is inspired by, and I have it on here, by the Country Lace Designer Series paper, which is not on sale. But I am really excited because this is a really, really beautiful paper. It has some colors that I love, and that's the paper that kind of inspired the tones for this card. We're going to be using the mixed florals. These are really big stamps. Yeah, you can see them. They're really, really big. I like them. They're wonderful, wonderful for coloring. If you want to practice coloring, these are great because it really allows you to play with blending and play with, you know, trying to figure out how to use extra colors or extra techniques. So I totally recommend this. Funny enough, of course, I thought of buying just a stamp and I didn't buy the bundle, and I had to I had to fussy cut them. So that was not so much fun. But anyways, nothing you can do about it. So Nicole says that she's learning to read German and Dutch really well as well. And Google Translator helps a lot. Ooh, that's wonderful, Nicole. Maybe we can get together to do to learn together. So anyways, this is one that we're going to be using. We're going to be using the everyday dies. And what I did is pretty similar to what I did with the blog hop with stamping, the global stamping blog hop, and it is using two of them together just to create a frame. um, I really like how that looks and the sense it takes. We'll go here in a little bit with what extra, you know, we cut and we needed. Now I am going to be using, so it gets funny always with my stories, right? So we're going to be using the Faith collection. It is a bundle. I absolutely recommend, if you are, you know, if you're a believer and celebrate faith, this is definitely for you. It has very, very beautiful crosses, and the sentiments are also beautiful. As it has to be, I don't know where my he is rising reason Guys, don't judge me. I forgot how you pronounce it. Raisin? Okay. Well, this one I lost. I don't know why. And so where it is, I have no clue. It must be somewhere around here. I just not been able to find it. And so because of that, I had to use the one in Rejoicing Him that he says he is rising. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, because that's the only one I'm using for these from this set. But I just want you to know where it comes from. And then finally, because neither of these are Happy Easter, I did bring in this Happy Easter from throughout the year. It's one of those that I get. No, no, the blog hop card was, I can show it to you. So, Sus is asking for the blog hop card. So this is the blog hop card. There it is. And so it was one of these that open like that. Oh, I am so sorry. So yes, I'm right. I'm totally right. And then you know me, right? I had to like make some extra, and so I actually made the back and create, a little booklet there or whatever. So anyways, I was telling you I really like this kind of throughout the year or general stamp sets. I probably shouldn't have gotten this one, but it had the Happy Easter, and for whatever reason, I did not have a Happy Easter available. There was one a while back, and I lost it too. I don't know, it's with me and losing stamps. And so I needed one, and that's why I got this one. I mean, it has a lot of best of luck and New Year and Happy Holidays, and it has a lot that is usable, but my reason was for that. And that's it. So these are the four things that we'll be using. Unfortunately, it would have been three if it wouldn't have been for the no Happy Easter. I mean, for the He is risen, rising. Goodness, I don't know what's happening with me. Now, we are going to need, and I'm going to try to put this in here. I was working yesterday in my Easter cards, and so I had a mess, and so I put everything in here where this is, so you're gonna have to see it all. That's fine. So we're going to need, guys, to start us off, we're going to need, okay, let me bring this up here. First of all, we're going to need two pieces. Okay, let me go back just a second. So of course I will be creating a blog post from this card, and I did create the measurements, or I do have the measurements for an A2 card. Those will be included, and I will show you how that one looks, because the other one I made was an A2 card. This one is going to be a 6x6 card, which is the one like following the exact measurements from the French lady, and that's what we're going to be working with today. So we're going to need first, like I said, this is for the 6x6, and this is a 6x6 piece, and a 6.5 by 6 piece that we're going to score a half inch. I don't have 12 by 12 basic beige, but that is not a problem because we can always just build our own card base. Now for the mechanism you are going to need, and this piece is 6 by 7.5, and we're going to work on this one. Besides that, you're going to need a basic white piece for the front, and that measures 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and then a DSP piece that will be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now for the inside, actually we're going to have to use something different or some other measurements, and I'll show you why, but they will be, so you'll need two white 2 7/8 by 5 7/8, I want to say, and the other one, is 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. So those are the general measurements, but again, all those measurements will be included in the blog post, and you can check them out later if you need them. Now let me organize here for 1 second. We're going to start with this. I don't know where I hid my my trimmer. So let's go ahead. Hey, Maria. Hey, Maria. I did say I did not sleep well. I am reading the comment that says, hey, Maria. And I'm like, hey, Maria. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Anyways, okay, so this is our 6.5 by 6 piece, and we're just going to score these at 1/2 inch. And there it is, our 1/2 inch. And all we're doing is creating a flap to add these two together, right? So let's do that right now instead of waiting for later. I am, same as we've done, I'm just cutting those two corners a little bit so it just looks a little bit more professional when you put them together. Let me move this in here. I'm looking for my tan tape. Let's go ahead and fold this and bring the bone folder. Okay, so we have talked about these in the past, right? In the sense of like this will go here like that, right? And hey, Jenny, how are you? Just like that. But that means that this will be visible, and Maria does not like that. So one of the two, either we make this the front because we're going to decorate it, and so it will be it will be covered. Hi, Anita. Or we, instead of doing that, we just add it like this. However you prefer works. This is much easier to add, but this would be the front, and I just really don't want anything to be odd. So I am going to try to add these two like this. So these flap will be on the inside. Okay. And what we're going to do, and yes, I'm going to be using a lot of the tear and tape, but you guys know how much I trust tear and tape to do these things. So I just feel like it's the way to go. I know if you've been here for a while, you probably know that I used a lot the Stampin' Seal Plus, and I really liked it, but for some odd reason I was getting, I don't know what the right word is, but every so often they will just not, it just go wrong. Everything went wrong. And so it was really expensive, right? I mean, the Stampin' Seal Plus is not cheap. I am making a lot of cards, and then it was, it stopped working. And so like it just kind of roll over. It looked like the old, I don't know, who those of you that are older like me that had cassette tapes, and when they like got all messed up, yeah, that's exactly how that looked, and it was not cool. So I am again going to add these very carefully as best as I can. Now remember that this cannot be in this or on top of the score of the score line. So it needs to be right next to it. And I am using my grid paper to guide me a little bit because of that. And there we go. And that's pretty decent, right? There you go. I like this better, but look at that. I was thinking earlier that I can totally do this if I don't like it later. And then ta-da, that is there, right? So I don't know why I was complicating myself so much. I guess I was looking at this and I just wanted to point it out because it just occurred to me. If you put it like this and these on the front, it looks a little bit more finished than if you do it this way. You see, because you can tell that this is added. So I'm going to go actually this way and hope it doesn't get, I don't know, it doesn't look odd when we decorate it. I don't think so. I mean, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So just in case, you can do it either way. Hi, Tara. So Nicole is saying that her anti rollers play well. Oh, a lot of mine learned to fly. That is so funny. It is a really weird thing, I have to say. I don't, sorry guys, I was loud. I don't understand why it was so difficult for me. really, it was almost like I got a bad batch or something, because I have seen Lisa using them, I have seen everybody using them, and they just like roll like heaven. And mine got, again, like the cassette tapes. And so I just really didn't like it. Okay, I think I may go this way, and I'll tell you why. So it feels like it's too tight. I don't know what you guys think. Ah, it's fine. I don't know why I'm worrying so much about the front of the car, huh? So Louise is saying that she will leave the tab to the back and just cover it with with a piece of DSP. That's a really good idea. Um, yeah, I think I'm going to leave it like it is. Oops, sorry guys. And we'll go from there. I know what I'm going to do. So this is the front. Once we put this, we can barely see it. So I think we're going to go this way. So this is part of that country lace that we are going to be using today. It is really one of my favorites. So I have to say, I was really surprised that I have not used it more often, and so that's why I was like, no, 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 I need to use this. Why am I not using this? So, um, this is the one we're going to be using. And I don't know if you remember, a while back we did one where you just used the basic beige. I want to say it was basic beige with a pool party, and that also ended up looking very, very beautiful and soft. So this is going to have kind of the same soft look. So let's add this layer, and then we'll just go into the inside for a minute and build up the mechanism and everything else. So I'm just making sure that is kind of decent, right? So this is going to look nicely. I'm going to say this here between you guys and me. I really like how I end up coloring those stamp sets. So now let's go ahead and I'm going to put these out of the way, and hopefully I didn't throw away the other piece. I think I put it here. Sorry, guys. Here it is. So we have a piece that measures 7 So 7 by 6. And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go to 3/4, and we're going to score at 3/4. We are going to score at 3 3/4. If I am not mistaken, it looks like I'm good. 3 3/4. And then we're going to go to 6 3/4, which it's the 3/4 mark, right? So if you're not sure on this side, you look in here and it's marking, okay, you're not seeing very well. It's marking 3/4. Once I place it there, that's where I need to do. So bottom line, we are creating 3/4 inch flaps that we're going to utilize later, and then we're going to work on the middle. Now, this is very simple. That all we need to do here is the top of my score line. So we're going to go from the top of that score line diagonally all the way to the bottom of the other score line, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So let's go ahead and do that. So here it is, the top, maybe there it is. So I'm going from the top to the bottom score line. I'm just making sure I actually have those 2 points in my view. I think they're decent there. Sometimes it's super hard to see, especially when it's a bigger piece like this one. Oh my goodness, Kiwi is saying that I'm not using it because I'm a paper hoarder. And that's probably a true statement. Probably a true statement. Now let's go ahead and do the other ones. So again, from the top, and I can barely see that one. So I'm going to fold this a little bit so I can actually see it, guys. So from the top to the bottom, or this would be like if you want it in order from the bottom to the top, right? So from the bottom of the first score line to the top of the the third score line. No, that is not going. I'm gonna have to move these a little bit, guys, so I can see better. Not, there it is, I think. Yeah, I think I got it. Good enough. Okay, so let's go take this out of the way. We're going to bring our foam folder and we're going to fold. This will be mountain, right? And then the middle score line will go valley. And the one on the other side goes mountain too. Okay? And now the next step is we're going to fold our diagonal mountain. But the way you know this is okay, our scoring is decent, it's because this is well aligned with that score line. Can you see? So there's the score line and this is our piece. So when we fold it, this edge is kind of aligned, well aligned with our flap. Okay? And I'm just making sure that is as good as possible. If it is a little bit on the rough edge, just force it. Nobody's perfect, so I would say just force it a little bit. And then we go with the other one, and it's the same thing. We're going to fold it, mountain, and make sure it is well aligned. So this edge is perpendicular, the right word, to the top edge. So any math people here that can correct me, I think perpendicular is the right way, but bottom line, these are on the same angle. Okay, and that is really all we need. Hey, Kate, Kyla, how are you? So glad you're here. And this is it, guys. So this, because we fold this is going to go, we're going to fold the middle down, right? There we go. And you have a perfect triangle, which we all know I don't love, but that's totally fine. And this is going to be our mechanism. So we're going to work on this for a minute. I just realized that I actually forgot the center triangles. I believe I did. So it's fine. We're going to work on them. And I am going to bring, actually, I think I'm going to bring this one. I think this is going to look okay. So we need, technically, so now let me bring this back up here. Technically, this is a 6x6 square now. So what we're going to do, we need a 6x6 square. Just to make it easier for Maria, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go cut 6x6. Most of the time, that is what I use anyways. So I am totally okay in cutting these this way. And I'm going to cut another one here. Okay. You guys know I love 6x6 cards a lot. So that will not be wasted, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And all we're going to do, I'm going to align just vertically, just exactly like we did before, right? And we are going to score. And I'm scoring first because it helps me guide. Just remember, I am not very good with triangles for whatever reason, so we do that. And then we score again diagonally. So from both tips, right? And there we go. So we have now kind of the same thing, right? So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to cut it. I just needed to focus because when I did it initially, I cut it wrong for whatever reason. So this is a guide for me. You probably don't need to do this. But, you know, if you're like me, it may be worth it. So I'm just cutting that way. I think I don't know what I did wrong, and I cut it differently. But here it is. So now we have this really big square that we can, triangle that we can probably use. And we're just going to cut in here. And now we're going to have those two triangles for the sides. Now, all I'm doing here is aligning here in the middle, but it's this point that is helping me to see where the middle is at. Okay, so I am going to bring this because when I was working on it, you guys can probably see already, it's a tiny bit bigger, right? And you guys know I like layers. I don't like or I like it, I don't love it when it's just exactly the same size for whatever reason. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to align these two friends together, bring back the trimmer, and we are going to, I'm just going to take about an eighth. No, this is a, yeah, this is an eighth of an inch. This is hard to do because I am just using, like, if it were a quarter is easier, right? Because this one has here a long line that will help me put straight, but we're going to do the best we can and it'll be fine. So I'm just making those two as straight as possible. I'm still using that straight line to kind of like guide me as to it's more or less straight, right? I'm going to hold that and we are, am I cutting the right way? Yeah. Sorry guys, I just want to make sure. Okay. And so now we most likely have two smaller triangles that are going to work. And they do, hallelujah. And it's just a tiny bit. Let me put it out here. See how, like, it's just a little bit of extra frame that we have. So let's add these. And I'm just going to expand this and add, and that will make it so much easier, right? So I see conversations about being a demo or not being a demo. And that is, yeah, it's rough, guys. I have to say, I am obviously, you know, I'm a believer, so I am just hoping things get a little more stable in our country, and you know, we kind of get out of these craziness that we are living. But in the meantime, we are not, and we just have to be mindful if you're able to really maintain or not. I'm probably going to stay being a demonstrator, mainly because I really like, I really like their products. I really like the quality of some of their products. So I am not really tempted to use, let's go and say, um, I'm really tempted to use, let me rephrase this, sorry. I'm not tempted to use somebody else's cardstock, not even. I am not tempted to use somebody else's stamp, ink pads, for example. Neither. DSP is a little bit different because, you know, that's just, it is different. So I may consider that. But as it is right now, I'm staying put. And sorry, I just was being part of the conversation. Okay, so this is what we got. Now let's bring that card here first, and we're going to add this. So if you do the A2 card, it is going to be a little bit different, and I'll show you here. So the A2 card, this is going, so this piece is going to be a little bit smaller. So in my card, and I'll show it to you when we see it, I actually add an extra piece or two extra pieces of DSP that we are not going to need in here because this is not going to be really covering, but it just does not make sense to add them. So all we need to do, and before I get too excited, I'm going to bring my thick or my wide, not thick, piece of tear and tape and the other one on the other side. And that's just going to be easier. Oh, this was a little bigger than I expected. But no matter what, guys, I'm actually, it seems that we have been doing with like panels like this. I am just going to cut a tiny bit. This is just a tiny bit of it. And so there you go. And there it is. And now here is the, we're going to cut a tiny bit. Again, I am thinking it looks like what? Maybe a fourth of an inch from the edge. It could be even smaller. It can be an eighth of an inch. Whatever works for you. I just think that it just makes it look, it just makes it easier when you're aligning several pieces. Because you can't see them. Oh, so Kiwi is saying that she's not a scrapbooker, not interested. So that's the thing. So I'm going to say this. I am, well, no, no, no. I am a scrapbooker at heart. I love scrapbooking. That's how I started with paper crafting. Um, and I'll bring here something. I've shown you this. I've made like little portraits, a lot of like portraits for the family I've made, and you know, I just love them. But I do love ephemera, even if you don't use it in the scrapbooks. If it's smaller, you can totally use it in the cards. And for me, it helps a lot to do to just create cards. So I'm going to say, for example, the coloring of the flowers, which I am very, very happy about. I spent hours. I probably spent good hour and a half, 2 hours yesterday, maybe even more. I was not counting. I do have a lot of fun painting or coloring, right? But all I'm saying is when you have a nice ephemera that you can just add, it does, it just speeds up the process, especially when you're thinking of adding, when you're like me, right, that you're adding one detail here, and then you're adding like five things or five different, you know, sets of products, and you're like, holy moly, right? So anyways, that's my 2 cents. Okay, now all we need to do is align these middle score line with the score line in the card. So that is pretty simple. It's right there, right? You can fold it and make sure that it is well aligned, and they have to be both in the middle. And that's it right now. I'm folding that again, that moved, making sure, of course, that it is, because they are both 6 inches, so they, you know, that they're well aligned, so that it's not like one part is going to be noticeable, or, you know, if you don't glue it correctly. And there we go. That's really all we need to do. I am holding these. I'm just going to hold that there, and I'm going to take, this is, I can see it's not well aligned, so I'm telling you to do something, and I'm not doing it. Okay. It seems like it is, right? Okay, so now I'm taking these, and I am just like that, gonna fold it back in there. We're gonna turn around because it makes it easier for me. Open this up, and fold back, and that's it. And this is the card. So this is what you get. You got it open here, and then you open, and you'll have these two areas to put cards in. Here is going to be a pop-up. So this is the front, so let me not get lost there. Okay, so I'm just making sure all is fitting well, it's folding well. And guys, that is technically the card. It looks phenomenal once you open it. So let's get decorating. I told you that inside we'll need 2 panels. These are 2 7/8 by 5 7/8, and the inside panels is 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay, so that's how that's going to look. I have these 2 big things here. You can try to decorate this. You're not going to see this, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute once we start putting the rest of the stuff. So let's go ahead and add these these 2 panels. And we'll decorate first the inside and then the outside. It is, right. So Kiwi, it is, Kiwi is saying that it is a really cool card. So thank you, Ida, for the suggestion. I had not seen it. So thank you very much. I have to say it is very cool. And like I said, I did work the measurements for the smaller, for the A2 card. So just, you know, if you're interested in that, then you'll just be able to download those measurements from the blog. Well, not download, they'll be in the blog. So, okay, these is, again, 2 7/8. And all that I am doing is just covering this side, because this side is completely covered. And when you open, it's true that when you're opening, you're seeing some of it, but you're not really. And so just, I don't know. I did not feel the need to decorate it. The lady there did not feel the need to decorate it. The other card, the A2 card, I felt that it needed a decoration. So you'll be able to decide what works best for you once you see the other one. Okay. Trying to see where the like front of these is. I'm not seeing it. And sorry guys, putting this in here. And so as you can tell, this is very, very soft color combination that really, you know, it's really, really beautiful. Now let's keep adding here. So now that we have these done, we're going to need 4 panels, and you're going to, they are 3 by 3. So you're going to need 4 3 by 3 basic beige, and then I added 4 white, basic white of 2/7 by 2/7. And so let me, okay guys, I didn't want to, I always like to leave like the stuff like surprise, but I'm not going to be able to. So let's get this going. I'm gonna put that there for a minute. So here are my panels. These, we're going to need a ribbon for that. So I have 4 of them. You can tell that I have already colored and I have them already ready mostly. I don't know why this one, where is the white one for this one? Don't I always lose something? It's just white, not cool. Not cool. Okay, I have these 2. This is fine. I am missing a white panel because why not? Guys, I don't know how that happens all the time. It is quite annoying. Okay, I can't see it. So, I mean, it's not a big deal, right? All we need is to cut 2/7 by 2/7. And I have a couple pieces here that were probably waiting for me to realize that I needed to cut them. So 2/7, and I'm going to cut them all the way because that's fine, by 2/7. Oh, thank you, Louise. Yes, I did. That's what I was telling you about coloring, right? It does take some time. So if you are about coloring in ephemera, I guess that's kind of like my thought process. It's sometimes I, for example, get really, really distracted coloring, and so boom, there goes 2 hours and a half, which is totally fine for me. But if you're like trying to work on like variety of or like several cards at the same day and you have limited time, that's probably not ideal. But let me show you. So okay, so I had one that's going to be like that, and that's fine. I am very, very, very proud of them. So let me show you how this looks. These are beautiful. Yeah. So Nicole is saying it would depend on your papers, on the papers you're using to decorate the other triangles and behind the mechanism. It does provide an additional wow. Yeah, yes, I completely agree. So let me put this. So these actually I cut this one. This one goes here, but I cut it because I'm going to use both. I'm totally in love with how these came out. Absolutely. Like there's no other way to say it. I'm in love with them. I'm in love with the colors. I'm going to start with the basics, right? I really like petal pink. I utilize petal pink in both of them, and this is old olive with a combination of wild wheat. I'll show you them here in a minute. Thank you, Jeannie. I'm so glad you guys like it. Yeah, I really like how these end up looking. Um, But again, I mean, going back to the ephemera packs, I did spend quite a bit of time doing this, right? Because I colored all the pieces that come in the oops in the stamp set. So a lot of time. So it's cool. Like this is the other one. I did some emphasis in here more in calypso coral, so I could have like a little bit of pop but all in all, I'm really loving those. So let's go and organize these here a little bit. So, okay, a while back I saw, and now I don't see it. Guys, how does that happen? It drives me insane. Is it there? No, it's not underneath. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Um, so let's start with putting these together. So same as always, I always have kind of like an idea, but I always put them together, right? Uh, so give me 1 minute, Elizabeth, and I'll answer your question there for a minute. So I have my four, and I've shown you this. I do this all the time. I have my four squares like this, so I can get a visual. This his rising goes here. Of how I'm going to play with this. So Elizabeth is asking about the color I used for it. I used actually the Lawn Fawn, sorry guys. It's called Jellyfish. It's very, very light. It's very difficult to use. You can use the basic beige. They're a little bit similar, but the basic beige is a little bit greener. And I don't particularly love it. So maybe, oh, it's very hard to see. Yeah, it's just a tiny bit greener, and I don't particularly love it with the pink. The jellyfish is a little bit browner, and so the color combo it looks better. It is very light, and so I have. I mean, it goes back. It takes some time to get that done. I'm looking for a piece. I found it. Hallelujah. Another hallelujah. So this one goes there. Okay, so this is, I was telling you, this is how I play with my, with what I have and try to organize. So my thought process is I want this one in here. And then I want the smaller flower back in here. I want to leave one. Oh, I realize now where the other white one was. You can all laugh with me. It's in my Misty because I have it all organized already. So the one this one will have, you know, just that one that says God is love, and some of the flowers that come with that set with Faith Collection. So we didn't need this one. So anyways, we're going to stamp that, and then we'll put these together, and I think it's just going to look really, really beautiful. I mean, let's put this together so I don't lose the pieces, huh? That makes a little bit of sense, huh? So let's go back in here. I will show you also which colors I use. If you've been to my classes, this time I did cheat a little bit. Most of the time I use only the Stampin' Up blends. This time just for one of the coloring techniques. I used one of the little Copics I have, and so I will show you when we're done putting it together which colors I use and how did I use them, in case you're tempted to use this color combination. Also, I was talking with Elizabeth, and there is a possibility that I will make a class out of these because I already have the stamp set, and I think it's a wonderful stamp set to color, and we can utilize the same color scheme or other color schemes, right? So all in all, I just think it's really, really beautiful. I almost messed that up. And so we're going to bring our his rice and he almost here. And I really wanted to use that other one in there and kind of make a different decoration, but here we are. I lost it, so that's how life goes. I'm going to add this, and I'll tell you that I have had such a phenomenal time coloring this flower. I colored it yesterday morning, because I told you guys that I'm off every other Monday, and it's, oh my god, I enjoy it so much, so much. I think I'm gonna put this one like that, and we can cut it. Yeah, we'll cut it, right? It's sad to cut it, but but yeah, we're going to cut it just a little bit. And so there it is. And I'm just going to move this a little bit until it's not here, right? But I can now cut the edge there. And it's going to go all the way to the edge, and I'm okay with that, actually. I like it sometimes when they're not the same. So I know I've told you again that I am really not very good at doing these cuts. So there it goes. Not bad, not bad. So these will be on the top, and then we're going to stamp this. So I have this one, and I actually have these other piece. It's just leaves, but I think that I can put this. I'm just keep thinking if I need it, or if I just leave that one there. I think that that one on its own looks very pretty. Whoops. I would say this for those, because I see the discussions about being a demonstrator or not being a demonstrator, and most likely, and this is for Kiwi specifically, most likely you have a ton of stuff already, and so use that stuff. And once you know you're starting to see that it's going, like that you are missing some of that, or that you're getting lower on your product, then I would say then, yeah, think about it. I was thinking, I kept thinking of using that one, but I really like how this one looks on its own there on just. And so now that we're not missing any pieces, I'm going to bring, not you, I'm going to bring my Misty, and we're going to just stamp this. And I kept debating if I wanted it in petal pink or in basic beige. I think I'm going to go with the basic. Oh, wait. No, I'm going to go with the petal pink, because the other one is in basic beige. So just to make some fun out of it. I'm not going to color any of these. I'm not going to do, they're just going to be, you know, some detail, and that's it. And you guys know how I am always these elegant when it comes to using my Misty. So that's all we need. I'm going to remove those, bring these out, and of course I'm going to clean these so they don't get stained or anything. And my fingers, since they got a little bit of petal pink. Okay, so back to these bees. Now we know what it was. Of course, I would say this, of course, because this is a pop-up, and this is going to be part of the pop-up. I would say, if you, when you're going to send it, just write in here before you send it, and that way, you know, whatever your little message is going to be, it's there, and you don't need to worry about it, or just put something extra, right? So this is how this is going to look. Let me put this so you guys can see. There it goes. So I think that it's super delicate. I absolutely love it. And all we need to do now is add glue on these corners. So on the inside corners, the ones that have no, oops, no paper, DSP. So we align this one with there. So all I'm doing is aligning the top there. It's straight there. This one here, guys, not in the middle, same as we've had the conversation, and we're going to do that all around. Maybe one day it'll happen. I told you guys, this thing and I are definitely not the best friends. We, for whatever reason, it's not working for me as well as it works for somebody else, but at least the solution is a pin and not throwing away this stuff. Let me, okay, while I'm doing this, I'm doing two things at the same time that it does not make sense. I just want to get rid of that. So we all know I will make a mess out of that, right? And we don't want that. So here's the next one. Now I am aligning the top of, the bottom corner to this corner right here, right before the score line. And this is aligned with the edge as well. And now we're bringing this one here too. Okay, I see that Kiwi is saying that she's irritating because she left. Oh, yeah, no. What were you thinking, girl? No good. That's no good. So you left them somewhere, and I'm bringing these again towards that middle. Make sure it is in here. And finally, this one. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that is not a good set. And you just can't go and get them back? I'm just wondering. And now this one back to the top, and that's where we're going to glue them. So while these gets glued, I'm making sure that this is to the top, guys. It's harder to see from afar for me anyway. So there we go. So that is how this card is going to open. Now, because it is a specific Easter card, I did get a piece of basic gray, not basic gray, basic beige. As you guys can tell, I used a little bit of my blending brush with it, and then a tiny bit of crumb cake. It's barely noticeable if you see it like this, but if you see it like that, it's a different thing, right? So I always like to do some of that. And so this is just a piece that I'm going to add in here. You know what? I'm going to add it to this side, actually. Let me bring this in here. Please don't do that. So it's 2 3/4, and I want to say I cut it. It was like 3 inches or 2.5 inches, and I just tear around, so it's not a big deal. And then I did the same with one of the crosses. It's just a simple cross. I just use my blending brushes to create some depth into it. But I really, really enjoy doing that in general. So I'm going to put this one in here. And this is one of the flowers that come with the kit. And I just figured, like, it really works so well in here, right? Like, it just has the perfect movement in the flowers to fit on that little mountain thingy. So I just really like it. So it brings a really nice pop of color. Let me show you there. To these, but still keep it very, very soft. So this is how it works. And ta-da, ta-da. It's very nice. You can put here more. So if you're interested in writing longer, you can put right in here. As you guys can see, I only use one layer instead of two, but that's because I really wanted those flowers to kind of like take the stage, right? Okay, so we're going to close this. I don't know if you can tell, I didn't do a very good job of putting these straight, but oh well. Do a good job. Don't do what I did. Bottom line. Okay, so now it comes to building up the front. I have so a set of things that we're going to be using. Hopefully I don't lose them. So I did cut, this is the biggest size of the arches, and this is going to go here in the front, and we're going to add that right away because we don't need to add anything to it. And So I'm just centering these as best as I can, making sure straight, because I made a mistake in here. I can probably cut that. No, I'm gonna leave it this way. Leave it, leave it, leave it. I just don't know why I'm so stubborn. And now I'm going to add the arch to it. And now we just have, like I said, I really, really like these, like the frame of it, right? It just looks really beautiful when it's framed like that. And now we're going to bring the beautiful flower. This, again, I am really, really proud of these. And so I'm just going to put this one, I'm going to put this one towards the lower end on the left corner. And then I figured I had one of those crosses, did the same thing, just a little bit of using the blending brushes, and I just think I just want this one right there. So that's how this is going to work. And then we just have a happy Easter that I did emboss with just the same, with clear embossing powder and the same color, right? So it's a really easy way to like extend. If you have a lot of clear embossing powder, you pretty much have a way to do this with every color, right? So I'm just going to put this one in here like that, and that will be the card. So let's go ahead and add our pieces in here. My suggestion, guys, is same as always, do get the bundle. It took me quite a bit of fussy cutting. Oh, thank you, guys. I am so glad you guys like it. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. So we're going to bring our cross in here. And so that just makes it so beautiful. I think that these, like I was saying, this color combo is just so gorgeous. Um, And I'm going to make sure that this is straight. There we go. And we're going to bring some dimensionals for this one. And I forgot to bring it out. Did I have it out? Oh, I have it out. For this one, I think this piece is um, already retired. Is one of those that I bought because I really, you know what I'm really bad doing at? These corners like this, not my strength. I just can't, guys. For whatever reason, they're always like off. One corner, one piece is longer than the other. It's just so frustrating. I can be so frustrating, right? And so I did, whoops. Um, there we go. I did get it was a while back. I did get this one. I think they have something similar nowadays. I don't even remember how it's called. And this was when I was just starting to be a demonstrator, so I don't have names of things. That is not great. But that is the one that I had used, and I just absolutely love it. And then just because I have these were called petal pink and pretty peacock. Um, Gems, they have gold foil in them. I think that they just make the best for these piece, and so for this card, right? And so I'm just going to bring, okay, this is a small one. I don't know where to put them. Okay, I see a dog hair somewhere. Hello. I'm gonna bring this one here, and then we're gonna bring one of the bigger ones to here, and another one of the bigger ones like in here. So I'm just gonna like set that up like two buttons in there, and then we can since I actually have two of these because I really like this one, so I'm gonna bring a few of these all around the card, just to add some extra decoration to it. I don't like straight lines, guys. That is one of my, how would you call it, I don't know why. I don't like straight lines. So there we go. So we're going to not do a straight line here. So I'm going to bring one in here. And then I do want to think maybe one here. Okay, we made it. We made it in like an hour. Guys, I feel very accomplished today. So there it goes. I just love it. So the other thing, if you still have some of the how they're called? The funniest thing. I have one because it's there. One of these, if you have some of these, this will look amazing in here. I just don't have any more than that one that's stuck there. And then there you go. And then you open it and you have all that like that. And then you still have our cross in here. I just really like it. Don't do this, guys, for whatever reason. I'm not concerned. Whomever is going to receive this is going to like it. And so, but this is what we have. I forgot to add my thingy. Well, the whole idea was to put these underneath, and then that way you can tie it up. So that would look very beautiful. I'm obviously not going to change anything at this point in time because this is well glued. So there's that. It's going to be open. It's fine. The other one, it happens. This is the A2 card. This one I actually thought through and put the thingy. And I'm using the Holy Cow, not the Holy Cow, cutest cow. I love that bundle. And so again, I just got myself to do some coloring and just having some good old fun. And this is how it looks. And I'm using a paper, retired paper, that was part of Celebration. And so there you go. And so, yeah, so we have the 3 cows, and I use different colors for it and that funny paper. So this is what I was telling you about the smaller card. And it is that these is actually so much smaller, right, than the whole card. Then you have definitely have to put some paper there in the back. So I do like how this looks like that, but if you open this one, this doesn't need it, you see, because this one is like all fits the whole card. This one doesn't, but it's still a really cute option, right? If somebody wants just a smaller version, then I'll have those measurements as well. Oh, thank you, Nicole. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate your kind comments. So yeah, this one is just a fun one. And I just figure, holy cow, and it's your special day. You milk it for it's worth it. I just think it's amazing. But this one is just so delicate and so beautiful. Yes, Adrian, I'll have both measurements available. I did this one and I just wanted to try the big one. And so I figured, you know, we'll have them both. I really like the bigger one for this one just because, let me bring it back here. This piece, it's really big. So if you put this in here, like it fits almost like the whole front of this card. And although I wanted to have this piece and for it to like really, I really want it to be part of something and not just be this. If it's in this smaller size, then it will be too overwhelming, right? In anyways, so this is what you do. I did here, which I wanted to do here, I forgot, and is adding the ribbon. So you can just tie it up. It doesn't really matter. It's not that bad. I can probably add this somehow. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying because I really like this color of ribbon. It's very beautiful. But anyways, there's that. That was the goal, was for this to be added here. So just in case. That was the goal. But there you go. We made it. So I just want to show you the color combinations I used for these. just trying to think. Yeah. So for, okay guys, let me bring all my craziness in here. So I used mainly, for the flowers, I used mainly the pretty pink. Not the pretty pink, the pale pink. And this is what I use. So I use this to help me create the shadow. Um, in the tulips, because it's very hard to create shadows with a color that is just this light, right? This is really, really light. Once, so initially I started with this and just in the areas where there will be a shadow, right? And then I came with just a dark petal pink, and then the light petal pink. But then I added tiny bits, a little bits of just the light calypso coral, because it will give it a little bit of a bump. And then you guys know I love using pencils to kind of like focus a little bit on those details, and that's what I used. You can probably see them here. If you've been to my coloring classes, you know that I always recommend that you get this one. This is a Prismacolor. It's called Lavender, Gray Lavender, and it's the Prismacolor 1026. This is a really useful one. And that one I used as a help here, and then I also use these that's called Cream, and as Prismacolor 914 to kind of create some of the, can you tell, it's just super light yellow, right? Like really, really light yellow, and it just creates such a beautiful kind of like shading. Now I use most of the time our pencils. The problem is that there is no petal pink. We do have calypso coral, so I did use some calypso coral in here. You can probably see it. Like it's more noticeable there. So yeah, you can probably see it around. And but our, for example, our lightest yellow is Daffodil Delight, and that would completely change um, the shadowing here, or the blending in here, however you want to call it. I'm not very good with names. So this is what I use. Again, I use, this one is Copics BV000, and I just use that to kind of enhance that shadow that sometimes is hard to create. So those are the ones I use for these. And for the leaves, I used a combination of these four. So this is Old Olive and Wild Wheat. Most in here I used Old Olive. And then what I did was creating with the Old Olive and the Wild Wheat a little bit of a difference. So the stems of the tulips were differentiated. The same here, like you can tell, well, not so much in here, but especially in this one, because this one's much bigger. That's what I use, and you can tell them there and they're here. So it's just, you know, kind of like working with it. Again, I did not use any undercover paper coloring, but I did use over. So for the, on top, I use this color, and I will totally recommend it. This is Derwent Light Fast. This is the purple. And I just have to tell you guys, these pencils are sold separately. So it's not like you have to invest a ton to buy, you know, like, I don't know, these probably are $1 or $2 or something, right? Like I don't remember how much they cost, to be fully honest, but they're not super cheap, but you can just buy one, right? And why this one is a little bit more expensive kind of pencil, but these are really useful. So if I can't remember where I get them. There's several providers that will sell them separately. So I can try to link those below if you're looking for something like that. If you've been in my coloring classes, you know that's how I do that, but that helps me create with much more detail the shadows in here, right? So that purple I use in this shadow, and I use in this shadow, and just to enhance in. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that because I know that people want to know and ask about it, and just want to explain all that. Okay, phew, that was long. Are there any questions? Can I help somebody with something? If not, so Adrienne is saying that she likes both. That one is delicate and the other is cute and fun. And thank you, Kyla. Thank you, Louise. Yeah, I like the smaller side because I know that we like smaller sides, especially to sand. Right, this is much easier to sand, especially if you remember, guys, the less paper you use. So I use layers and layers and put layers, right? I just can't help it. But the layers of it, I mean, if you put less layers, it's going to be easier to sand. This is still going to be thick because the mechanism, it creates thickness. And I would totally recommend that you use card base and not DSP much thinner, but then people are going to be opening and closing and opening and closing, and you need that mechanism to resist movement, right, to resist the tear and wear. So yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. If you are one of my clients, I so appreciate all your help. And I want to remind you that there is a last chance and there's really, really good discounts. And so I recommend you go and check it out and, kind of like see what's good. In a 5x7 card, I don't see why not, Adrian. So Adrian is asking if we can make that into a 5x7. I think that so I did have another one. This is a little bit bigger. This may work for it. So see, if you put this one in here, that's not going to work. It was, let's put, almost. So this one was, so the top was looking like that because this is 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. So I was looking something like that. So just think that 5 is not a whole lot more, right? And so my thought process is, what you're going to encounter is that the 5 inches, like the 7, because the 7 inch is so long, then this is going to look really small within the card. That's what I am thinking, but I did not try it. So it's just a matter of trying. The trick, Adrian, is that this in the middle needs to be a square. So you have the flaps. The flaps can be however long, 1/2 inch, 2 inches, whatever, right? 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 3/4 is a good one. But the middle needs to be a square. So for example, this was 4.5 by 4.5. I just don't know if you make 5.5 by 5.5, how will that look? How much this will point be outside the card if it is. And so you'll have to play with that a tiny bit. Well, I'm glad you guys like it. Thank you so much. We'll see you next Tuesday. I really appreciate everybody's support. And just let me know if you need anything. I'll gladly, answer any questions. All those. Let me come back here, guys. I'm so sorry. I always end up talking. There you go. Do please, if you have any questions, let me know. But remember that those will be in the measurement. The measurements will be in the blog, and yeah, and it's got even like a little bit of an explanation, so you can totally it's not instructions, but it's good enough, so you can copy and paste that somewhere else in a Word document and save it. Yeah, so that's the point. So if you see it, oh, thank you, Kiwi. Yes, thank you for the reminder. So if you like the video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. And just as important, share the video with your friends, because that's how the channel kind of grows. And I'm just going to explain these two Adrian, you can stay if you want. I just don't, I know it's late. So what you're saying, Adrian, is what you mean is a square may not work. So this is fine, right? Remember, this is not like technically a square. What's going to happen is calculating where, where you put this. So let me show you so you see. So if I put this in here, when this goes back up, I'm just trying to do something really dumb. This is going to, this ends up looking like that. So I just think that because it's 7, right? It's 7 inches. Then you're going to, like, if you do this one, you're going to have a very big piece, or very big space between these in the middle. I don't know if that makes sense, but it will be, so this is what, about 3/4 of an inch, and this is 5 inches, 5.5. So you're going to have at least 1.5 inch more, at least, yeah, 1.5 and 1.5. So that's all I'm saying. These will probably work, I'm thinking, because this is 4.5, and I think that may work. But just so you know, you'll need a square. So these can be, and this square can be 5 by 5. It can be 4.5 by 4.5. You can make the square however you want it. But these in the middle needs to be a square for the mechanism to work. Okay. And I always end up talking more than I need to. So I apologize for that. It was so good to be with you guys. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you next Tuesday. And hopefully with something fun too. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. I do have to say, if you by the end of the video, you'll probably see YouTube suggesting you some other videos. One of them is going to be probably related to pop-ups, and the other will be related to something that YouTube is choosing for you, and those two are going to be here. So thank you so much, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.